Hey guys, this is WordsAtScale, and today I'll be doing a review on Catap. And I always like to say that this review is backed by science, alluding to my dashboard with the 6 indicators that I measure every AI copywriting tool against, but it is with a pinch of self-irony, so to speak, as I'm not a scientist. Okay, so this is what we'll be covering today. We'll be covering the fact-checking capabilities of Catap. We'll be going over some of the more unique templates of Catap. We'll be checking and testing thoroughly the long-form copy that Katteb produces, and then you'll see the results in my dashboard where we compare the outputs versus Jasper, Word Hero, Wordplay, Autoblogging, and the rest of the bunch. So stay tuned. But first, what is Katteb? Katteb is claiming to be the first fact-checked real-time localized writer, meaning that it produces localized to certain geography facts that are processed in real time and are accurate. And we'll be testing that along with some other incredible features that Katteb possesses. So let's see Katteb in action, shall we? So once we log into the Katteb dashboard, we see this. And immediately what sets it apart is the ability to generate the full article right from the dashboard. And if I were to type something like can docs eat, there is an inbuilt auto-suggest feature that helps a lot. So if you are uncertain of which route to take with your article, you can get this auto-suggest feature inside of the Katteb. So as you can see, I can go for can dogs eat bananas versus can dogs eat tomatoes, grapes, walnuts, and so on and so forth. And this is great. But we'll be testing this in a few minutes. First, I want to go over some of the main templates. And the first one, and it says on fire for all the right reasons, is Katteb Plus, which is the fact checker. And you have your brief description. You can target your audience by geography. You have different tones of voice like optimistic, professional, and the default one is a matter of fact. Then you can choose the point of view, either first, second, or third person. And you can even choose the way the output is produced, either as a paragraph, a listicle, an FAQ, or an email. So let's get to it and try to do something interesting. I'll be asking Katteb to tell me what the price of the Bitcoin is today, and let's see what Katteb spits out. Let's press generate. And while it's doing its thing, I want you to compare the output with ChatGPT and Jasper. So this is ChatGPT, and let's go for Jasper. And we'll be using its commands template, which is very similar to what ChatGPT is doing. What is the price of Bitcoin on December? And click generate. So we'll first see what ChatGPT is doing, and it is sorry. So ChatGPT said that it's sorry and it's not able to browse the internet. And one of the reasons is that its training data only goes up to 2021. So this is right off the gate. This is one of the biggest differences between Katteb and ChatGPT in terms of the up-to-date real-time data and processing that data. Now to Jasper, and Jasper is taking its time for some reason. And Jasper AI is like a good liar in this respect. I'm pretty sure it doesn't know the answer, but it's trying to make us believe that it does. And this is what Jasper wrote. The price of Bitcoin on December 15, 2022 is difficult to predict with absolute certainty. And yes, I know why. And this is just basically blah, 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 which doesn't answer the query and nor does it contain any numerical value at all. Let's go back to Katteb, and it's saying that on November the 15th, the price of Bitcoin was 17,684. So let's remember this number here. Now let's head over to Google right now and price of Bitcoin now. And the price of Bitcoin now is 17,430, and you should know that it is dependent on the current exchange that you are using. So some exchanges like Coinbase stating that the price is 17,837. The others will state it at 17,869. So it is very close to what Katteb is telling us. So let's try something that cannot be interpreted in any other way. So it's either right or wrong. So let's ask Katteb who won the football game between France and Morocco yesterday. And yesterday France beat Morocco 2-0 in the semi-final match of the FIFA World Cup. And let's check if this is correct. And it is factually correct. Not only that, if we go to Catap Plus, we can express this not as a paragraph but as an email. Subject: France versus Morocco. Dear recipient, yesterday France won the semi-final match. The final was set for December 14th, so make sure you don't miss it. France have now won 4 successive matches and are one step closer to the first World Cup final outside of Europe. Yeah, so it is factually accurate and it's quite amazing. Talking about the factually accurate, let's test another template, which is one of the newer ones. It's pros and cons. So say I want to compare 2 iPhone models, iPhone 14 versus iPhone 13. And again, if I were to ask ChatGPT about that, I would get another one of those one sorry responses. So, but here, let's click generate, and immediately we get the pros and cons. So the pros of iPhone 14 is improved camera quality, faster processor speeds, larger screen size. Cons is expensive, price tag, limited access to third-party apps. And yeah, so you can take whatever product is currently trending and compare it and write a very honest and factual review. Let's head over to the templates, and I want to show you something that is an incredible addition. And I want to give props here to the developers of Catap, because this was one of the suggestions that I made on Facebook, and the guys listened, and the turnover time was like 3 or 4 days or a week at the most, and then they came up with this template. So the thinking behind this template is that there are some credible sources that everybody knows. You can look at the DR, you can look at other reputational scores, but sometimes you just want to be right. So for example, I want to know what is the RSI indicator, and I want this information to be 100% factually correct. I know that Investopedia, for example, is a very reputable source, and I can click generate, and what I get in return is a very short but to the point answer that you can use as an answer target, and you won't have to worry that this is factually incorrect because it came from an Investopedia. So same goes for other resources like HealthMD or Spruce Pets, for example, if you're in the pet niche. But whatever your niche of choice is, there is a reputable resource inside that niche that you can use as a reference, so that's great. Talking about the templates, some of the more unique ones are Article Rewriter. And what's unique about it is that you can import an article from the URL, and I like how you won't be able to rewrite if you don't click the "Don't forget to cite your sources" button. And it just rewrites the whole thing. And let's show you an example. Let's say this is France versus Morocco still. So you would go here, in place, you would click the button, fetch article. And it's actually doing this at a pretty good speed, I must say. And here it is. So it basically fetched the article, and this is as is, and then you can rewrite the article. You can click on the advanced rewriter to basically select the number of variations and some other things. But yeah, this is a very useful tool. Then you have the featured snippet that you can use to create your answer targets with. And another template is the AI art generator. So say I want to, let's say I want a photorealistic line in Savannah. And here we go. This one looks very photorealistic. So now let's head over to the main dashboard and test the long form copy capabilities. So say we want to go by the same example as I mentioned before about the dogs. Can dogs eat and then we'll choose one of the auto suggestions, can dogs eat bananas, create full article. And here you have the H2s, which are, by the look of it, very relevant. Understanding if banana are safe for dogs, nutritional benefits, dangers, introducing banana, how much banana can dog have. And if you click on this icon here, you get to choose the H3s as well. So there is currently a limit. You can choose either 15 H2s or a combination of 15 H2s and H3s. I would have loved the limit to have been 15 for both the H2s and H3s, but that's okay. Let's choose some other H2s. So we have almost reached the limit, 15 out of 15, and let's click generate. And one of the things that I addressed to Catap is the speed. So this is an issue for me. I know that in the today's society we are so used to getting a light speed in everything, but it is fairly slow compared to other AI generators, and I think there are two reasons for that. First, Catap is fact-checking everything, so every output, every detail is being fact-checked. And the second is that Catap is still a newer product and the servers are not up to their full potential yet, but the guys from Catap promised me that they will fix this and the speed issue will be no more. But still, I want to give you the real-time progress of how the generation of the article occurs and how much it takes, or how long it takes rather. And we can, while we wait, we can read through the outline once again. So the topic was, can dogs eat bananas? And we are talking about nutritional values, dangers, how much banana, so the quantities of banana, different ways to serve, common signs of allergies, should puppies eat bananas, substitutes, risks, tips on shopping, considerations, and we even get a comparison between grapes and bananas. And now we are seeing that there is a countdown which occurs when there is a 1 minute left before the generation is over. And they used to have this box at the bottom which allowed you to choose the images, whether you want them generated or not. I don't see those. I don't see that box anymore. Maybe they'll bring it back, because by default Catap produces images as well as text. And yeah, the speed is something that has to be taken care of. And I know that some of the reviewers recently, they were asking about the speed and that they had similar results as me. And when you think about it, if your objective is to produce high quality content, you should be able to wait 1, 2, 3, even 5 or even 10 minutes. Like Article Forge, for example, it can take a whole 10 minutes to produce rubbish, which is like 100% plagiarism. So here you can safely wait for 5-10 minutes if you know for sure that the content is factual. But still, I would have loved to be able to wait less, because time is of the essence and it is one of the most precious resources. And me, going on 40 plus, I value my time very much. So, but I'm going on tangents. I'm just waiting for this progress bar to fill in all the way up. And we have 7% left, 100%, finally. So, okay, we have an intro. Are you curious to know if your pup can have a banana or two? If so, then this blog post is for you. And we have our H2s. Beautiful. We have a conclusion, and let me check quickly the word count. You can check the amount of words here. I shouldn't have gone to another website. All the information is here at your disposal. And me being me, I put this long form editor or article generator through hell. And if you go to my dashboard, which everybody can have for free, you can see that now the Catap is added for 5 keywords in 5 different niches. And let's see what the results were for those. So I basically measure 6 parameters, which is the originality score, which is how much AI content is in the text. And here 22% means that 22% of the content was original. And I'm comparing the black bar is Catap and the transparent bar is everybody else minus the Texta and Write Cream because they skewed the averages and I do not recommend those tools. So this is basically against Jasper, Word Hero, Autoblogging and Wordplay. So we can see that we are slightly lower than our competitors on average in terms of originality, but not by much. Output quality, this is the only subjective metric which I measure from 1 to 10, 10 being extremely relevant, 1 being irrelevant. So we can see that the output quality is slightly more than for our competitors, than for the competitors, but within the statistical insignificance. Plagiarism score, this is what actually surprised me. So we get 8% on average versus our competitors getting 10. Readability score is extremely high. This is measured by Grammarly Pro. And the 2 SEO scores, which surprised me a lot again. So SEO score number 2 is Neuron Writer, and we get 36 versus 30, which the competitors got. And SEO score 1 is Surfer SEO, and here the difference is even more dramatic. And I'm not a statistician, but I think this is within the significance. So we can say that compared to the competition, the articles that are produced by Katteb are much more SEO optimized. And for the average word count on the surface, it may seem that the difference is large, but it's not the case. Katteb's articles were 1,200 words on average, and we get the same 1,200 words for our competitors excluding Katteb. And finally, if you go to the "and the winner is" sheet here, you can see that Catap is currently number 1. It has not been tested against all of the keywords and all of the niches, so I have 9 more keywords to test, but it's looking very promising. So it's slightly above Autoblogging, and it's been tested for 5 different keywords. So to sum up, Obvious Pro is the fact-checking capabilities, and I am planning on comparing the outputs of Catap to those from ChatSonic and Hypotenuse, which are claiming to be based on fact-checking as well. I like some of the templates, which are quite innovative. I love the FB community and the updates, so this is probably the only AI writer that I've seen, and I've seen a lot, that constantly updates and improves upon what's been done already. And the way the guys listen to the community is unheard of. So they really implement what is being suggested to them if it makes sense, and they do it extremely fast. I like the long form editor and how it has H2s and H3s. Lifetime deal on AppSumo, which is subject to change depending on when you see this video. And the quality of the outputs together with the fact-checking probably is the second best, or even the first best, depending on how you look at it, pro. So the quality is very good, and it has been tested against the 6 indicators for 5 different keywords. As far as cons go, the speed of generation is an issue, and many of the people will be detractors because of that. Some templates are confusing. So if we go back to the dashboard, first we have the Catap Plus, which is the entry point, but then it dilutes a little bit for me. We have the feature snippet, we have the Catap Assistant, and these two, like, I don't use them ever. I use the Catap Plus. Then we have the long form article, and we have the Catap Plus, which can be used to write long form copy. We have the summarizer, and we have the key sentences template, which again overlaps, at least in my opinion. And we have the pros and cons, and I know why the guys did that, but again, it can be done within the Catap Plus. And we have the article rewriter, and we have the paraphraser. Again, I would have loved for Katteb to merge those two, even though rewriting and paraphrasing is slightly different. So all in all, I think that they should tidy up the templates so there is very little confusion. Katteb doesn't have as many templates as some other AI writers, like for example Word Hero that has in excess of 80 templates. And so I'm experiencing at least some occasional bugginess, and I know why it occurs. Like the guys just recently mentioned the DDoS attack, but still, for the first-time users who are not familiar with the team and how fast they are progressing, this might be an issue. So that's it. Hopefully you've enjoyed this review. Again, all the information with all the outputs is in the dashboard. Feel free to ask me a question. And hopefully the guys from Catap hear and see this and improve upon the suggestions. But all in all, I think Catap is an incredible tool. I highly recommend it. Like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time.